It is high time for the channel to get into its main niche, which is writing and story building. I will make an entire video on what writing means to me, how much I enjoy story building, the novel I'm working on currently, and also introduce you all to my writing style. But today's video is a tribute to the writing software I am using. The product is YWriter. In this video, I will detail the features of this software, how I use it for my novel, how it helped to track my progress, and also motivate my writing. YWriter is developed by Simon Haynes from SpaceJog Software. Simon is an author himself. It is a free software but packed with lots of features. I use this extensively and exclusively for my current project. I used to write in Word document, specifically WordPad, because it is lightweight. I came across Scrivener and gave it some thought, but I was not really interested to pay for a writing software then because I was not sure why I need a writing software in the first place. I mean, in olden days, great works were written with the humblest tools. What can I achieve with these writing software that those great minds hadn't with their basic tools? All I need are some imagination, a paper and a pen, and some command over the language. With that mindset, paying monthly for writing software felt irrelevant. But I missed something here. The distraction we have in today's world makes the concentration and focus a distant fruit. One day I came across YWriter and downloaded it only because it is free, I wouldn't lie, and instantly impressed by its features. The software itself is free, but you can register to support the developer. It also mentioned in the website that leaving a tweet and spreading the word is fine too. For everything I get out of this software, a tweet or a forward will not be enough, so I dedicate this entire video. For someone who always used WordPad, the first thing that impressed me is the simple user interface. Within the first half hour into the program, I started getting the hang of it and began creating the outline of my novel. When I only have a rough idea how the story would go, I was able to map those vague details into chapters with brief description. I could extend this outline to a list of scenes under each chapter. This way, I was able to visualize how the story would take form. Earlier, I would make note of them roughly at the end of the Word document, the same document where I write my story. The presence of those unorganized notes would keep bothering me. With YWriter, my thoughts are still a mess, but an organized mess and neatly tucked away in the side, and I can choose not to worry about that. With WordPad, while I have to scroll to the page I want to write, it is hard not to have my focus derailed. It becomes even harder when the number of pages grow. Instead of having a mile-long document and cramming the scenes into a never-ending chapter, I can split them into smaller sections of scenes. And the best thing is, I can only concentrate on one scene at a time. Adding a new scene to a chapter gives me a fresh, clean slate to work on. I can add before I start or as I go whose viewpoint the scene is from, whether it is a main plot or subplot, whether it is an action or reaction, and lot more, which brings me to the next point, that is character, story and world building. There is a separate section to list the characters in the story. I can note down everything I have thought about this character and jot them down in the special section dedicated for characters. For example, I like to map a character to some person I know. It could be someone from my real life or a movie character or a real life actor or actress. I note that in the character section and also add a picture of them. This way I can easily explain the character traits in the novel by throwing some hints every now and then in the story and avoid giving long lecture at one go. Not just character, you can also list the locations that appear in the novel and any items or props that would be present. While building the scene, we can bring them together, the location the scene's taking place, the items that are significant for that scene. I can also specify the date and time when the scene happens and how long the scene goes on for. This would be highly beneficial in developing the story timeline and avoid mistakes related to that. In one of the stories I wrote, I had a flashback scene where one of the characters characters was 7 months pregnant and 6 months later in the story, she was still pregnant. Could have eliminated that mistake by concentrating a bit more on the timeline. There is also another advantage of meticulously mapping the scenes with the character, and that is with the help of the reporting feature of the tool. Almost every artifact in the story building process can be exported and viewed as a report. For example, I can choose to export chapters or scenes or characters or locations and so on. If I export a report based on characters, I can see how many scenes does a character have. Say I have a character called Jack and I have thought Jack as one of the main characters, but he has less scenes than a less significant character in the novel. Then that is obvious that I haven't conveyed the significance of the character Jack to the readers enough. Jack is a main character in my mind, but I haven't given enough reasons for the readers to care about him. And take a look at how the story can be visualized. The story and the characters are neatly spread out on the table for me to play around. When I am stuck on how the story would go after a certain point, I can find a character that was long forgotten and bring them back to the smooth sailing plot and shake things up a bit. Not only that, I can spot if the story might go too monotonous if it mainly relies on a single character, chapter after chapter, and include the other available characters and make it more interesting. While creating every scene, I can mention the aspect of the scene, whether it will be comedy or tension or a twist or a horror, etc., and predict how the overall tone of the story would be. Before moving on to the next section, I would like to remind you that if you find any value in my video, please hit the subscribe button. It would really help support the channel and motivate me in making more quality content. Thank you. Let's continue with the video. Another impressive feature of YWriter is how detailed the statistics are. Starting from the number of words written as a whole on that day, as well as in particular chapter or a scene, the data goes a long way to show cumulative progress since the start of the project. There are options to set goals, either daily writing goals or customized goals, like how many words I should write before a specific date. I can check the progress and see if I am still on track. Writing styles differ between one person and the next. I like to outline the whole novel first, then write the first draft before moving on to editing. Some people like to write their first draft and also keep going back to edit the previous chapters. YWriter accommodates this style. I can choose the status of each scene, whether the scene is still in the outlining stage or moved on to draft or editing stage. And again, when you export the report, you can see the scenes and their status. Based on the writer's mood, they can choose to either write the draft or edit a previous written draft. I quite often use this yBook feature where I can export the scenes or chapters to see in an ebook format. It quite boosts my confidence to see how my words would look like in a finished book. With Wordpad writings, I will send the document to my email as a backup. With YWriter, every now and then after I finish my writing session, I spend few minutes to back up my work. I back up the whole project, compress the folder, upload it to Google Drive and name it to the current date. Though this is inefficient, I feel this is a simple backup process. It helped me not to overthink or overcomplicate the process by researching into cloud storage at this stage. When I changed my laptop, I just downloaded the latest backup folder, installed YWriter, opened the exe file and continued my work seamlessly, all the artifacts in place. Having listed all these pros, there is one another important thing which I love about this software. This program never hung up on me, never once crashed. Quite a surprising performance from a product with so much features loaded. That said, there are a couple of things you have to consider if you are going to choose this product for your writing needs. The Windows version of YWriter is available, but Mac version is not published yet. But the continuous updates of the product is promising that a Mac version is not far away. One question to ask now is, when the Mac version becomes available, will we be able to seamlessly migrate our project from Windows to Mac? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was useful and good luck in your project. And please don't forget to subscribe. See you all soon in the next one.